Right now, 99% of people are starting 2026 with the same tired money habits that kept them broke in 2025. They're setting vague goals, hoping for raises that never come, and following advice that sounds smart but leads nowhere. By the end of this video, you'll know the 10 money moves that separate those who break through from those who stay stuck. And when you hear move number 7, you'll understand why the wealthy are already positioning themselves while everyone else is still planning. Picture this. 2 people start 2026 with the same salary, same debt, same rent. One follows the crowd, nodding along to generic advice about budgeting apps and saving more. The other makes 10 quiet decisions that most people will completely miss. By December, the first person is still complaining about money. The second has options, momentum, and a balance that makes them sleep easier. The difference isn't luck or genius, it's knowing what to do while everyone else is distracted by noise. Here's what's really happening. Most people treat January like a fresh start, but repeat December's mistakes with new enthusiasm. They write down goals without systems, chase quick fixes that burn out by February, and ignore the unsexy moves that actually compound. Wealthy people understand something critical. Breakthrough doesn't come from motivation. It comes from making the right boring decisions when no one is watching. And the beautiful part, these 10 moves work whether you're starting with $100 or $10,000. So let's start with money move number 1. Freeze your lifestyle, not your income. Here's the trap most people fall into. The moment they get a raise, a bonus, or a tax refund, their spending automatically adjusts upward. New subscription here, nicer restaurant there, slightly better car, bigger apartment. Before they realise it, that extra income vanished into lifestyle inflation, and their savings account looks exactly the same. Wealthy people play a different game. When income rises, expenses stay frozen. Every additional dollar flows straight into assets that pay back. Think about it. If you earn $4,000 a month now and get bumped to $4,500, most people immediately spend that $500 on upgrades that feel minor but compound into thousands. Instead, redirect it. $500 a month into an index fund at 8% becomes over $7,300 by year end. Do that for 5 years and you're sitting on nearly $37,000, all because you refuse to let your lifestyle creep upward with your paycheck. The wealthy know this instinctively. Challenge yourself. Write down every recurring expense you have right now. Rent, subscriptions, groceries, everything. That's your ceiling for 2026. When your income grows, and it will, if you follow these moves, your expenses don't. You'll feel the urge to celebrate with spending. Resist it. Celebrate by watching your net worth climb instead. Number 2, treat tax refunds like emergency money, not fun money. Every spring, millions of people get refunds and immediately blow them on vacations, electronics, or random purchases that feel good for a week then disappear. Here's what most people don't realise. A tax refund isn't free money. It's your money that you overpaid to the government all year. Getting excited about it is like lending someone $100 every month, then celebrating when they finally give it back without interest. The mistake runs deeper. When you treat a refund like bonus cash, you miss the chance to make a strategic move that changes your year. Meanwhile, wealthy people see refunds as opportunities to accelerate their plan. They use them to kill high-interest debt, bulk up emergency funds, or make a lump sum investment that immediately starts compounding. Picture getting a $2,200 refund. Most people book a trip or upgrade their phone. Smart people drop the entire amount onto high-interest debt, saving over $400 in interest over the next year. That savings flows straight into investments. 2 strategic moves from one decision. Your tax refund in 2026 is not a shopping spree. It's rocket fuel. Use it to pay down debt, fund your emergency cushion, or invest it in assets that grow while you sleep. And here's the bonus move. Adjust your withholding so you stop giving the government an interest-free loan every paycheck. Keep that money working for you all year, instead of waiting for a lump sum that tempts bad decisions. But hold on, because later in this video, I'm going to show you something that will completely flip how you think about investing. Most people are waiting for the perfect moment, but this will be the most expensive mistake you can ever make. Number 3, automate your first $10 before you automate anything else. Most people know they should save and invest, but they rely on willpower to move money manually at the end of the month. That's a losing strategy, because willpower is a finite resource, and bills, Temptations and emergencies always show up first. Here's what wealthy people do differently. They automate the smallest possible amount immediately, even if it feels laughably tiny. $10 a week, $50 a month. The number doesn't matter at first. What matters is building the system before motivation fades. Once automation is running, you forget the money exists. It disappears before you can spend it, which is exactly the point. After a few months, you won't even notice it's gone. That's when you increase it. Bump it to $15, then $20, then $50. Each increase feels effortless because the habit is already locked in. This is how ordinary people build six-figure portfolios without ever feeling like they're sacrificing. Start with just $25 every 2 weeks, going into a Roth IRA. Never touch it, never think about it. 5 years later, that boring automation turns into over $8,000, and the habit is so ingrained that doubling contributions feels natural. Stop waiting for the perfect moment to start investing. Stop convincing yourself you need a bigger paycheck first. Automate $10 this week. Prove to yourself the system works. Then scale it as your income grows. The wealthy don't rely on discipline. They rely on systems that make discipline unnecessary. Number 4, spend 1 hour mapping every dollar you made in 2025. This move sounds tedious, and that's why 99% of people skip it. But here's the truth. You cannot improve what you don't measure, and most people have zero idea where their money actually went last year. They have vague guesses and plenty of regrets, but no data. Wealthy people treat their finances like a business. They review, they analyze, they course correct. Pull up your bank statements, credit card records, and payment apps. Add up your total income for 2025, then categorize every major expense. Rent, groceries, subscriptions, dining out, entertainment, random purchases. You'll be shocked. That $12 a month subscription you forgot about, that's $144 a year. That daily coffee run, easily $1,500 or more. Those impulse purchases that felt small in the moment, they add up to thousands you'll never get back. But here's where it gets powerful. Once you see the numbers, you spot the leaks instantly. Maybe you spent $2,000 on takeout when cooking at home would have saved half. Maybe 3 unused subscriptions drained $400. Maybe 1 emotional shopping spree in March cost more than your entire emergency fund. The goal isn't to beat yourself up. The goal is clarity. When you know exactly where the money went, you make better decisions in 2026. Wealthy people don't guess. They know. Spend 1 hour this week doing the review. Write down the 3 biggest surprises. Then decide which expenses you're cutting and where that money is going instead. That 1 hour of brutal honesty can redirect thousands of dollars this year. Number 5, join one group of people who are already where you want to be. Here's something most people miss. Your money habits are shaped more by your environment than by your willpower. If everyone at your table complains about being broke, you'll stay broke. If everyone around you brags about spending, you'll overspend to keep up. But if you surround yourself with people who talk about investments, side income, and building assets, those conversations become normal and your actions follow. Think about it. You wouldn't try to get fit by only hanging out with people who skip the gym and eat junk food every night. Yet people expect to build wealth while surrounded by others who treat money like a game they're supposed to lose. Wealthy people are intentional about their circles. They join forums, attend meetups, find accountability partners, and spend time with people who normalize smart financial decisions. It doesn't mean abandoning your friends. It means adding new voices who challenge your assumptions and show you what's possible. People who join financial communities consistently report their savings rate doubles within 6 months. Not because of magic tricks or secret formulas, but because the group makes aggressive saving feel normal instead of extreme. When everyone around you is investing 30% of their income, suddenly your 15% feels weak instead of impressive. In 2026, find your people. Search for a community around investing, side hustles, real estate, or financial independence. Engage with them regularly. Ask questions. Share progress. Let their standards become your new baseline. You'll move faster, surrounded by people who are already winning, than you ever will trying to figure it out alone. Now, before we get to move number 7 that I warned you about, let me show you move number 6, because this one quietly separates those who talk about goals from those who actually hit them. Number 6, Set 3 financial deadlines with consequences, not wishes. Most people set vague goals. Save more, invest more. Spend less. These aren't goals. They're wishes dressed up in New Year's energy. By March, they're forgotten. Here's what wealthy people do. They set specific deadlines with clear consequences, and they share them with someone who will hold them accountable. Instead of saying, "I want to save more," they say, "By June 30th, I will have $2,000 in my emergency fund. If I don't, I owe my accountability partner $50, and I have to post my failure publicly in our group." Suddenly, the goal has teeth. Deadlines force action. Consequences force follow through. Without both, goals are just daydreams that fade when Netflix calls. Pick 3 financial milestones for 2026. Make them specific with exact dates and exact numbers. Maybe it's paying off $3,000 in credit card debt by September. Maybe it's hitting $5,000 in your brokerage account by December. Maybe it's earning $1,000 from a side project by May. Write them down. Tell someone you respect. Attach a consequence you actually care about. A financial penalty, a public admission, something that stings enough to keep you moving when motivation dips. This is how ordinary people achieve extraordinary results. They don't rely on inspiration. They build systems that make failure more painful than the work required to succeed. Set your 3 deadlines this week. Share them. Then get to work. Number 7, the move I warned you about. Stop pretending you'll invest later and start with what's in your pocket right now. This is the move that separates dreamers from builders. Most people are waiting for a bigger paycheck, waiting for the perfect moment, waiting to understand everything before they start. Meanwhile, the wealthy started years ago with less knowledge and smaller amounts than you have right now, and time has been multiplying their money ever since. Here's what most people don't realize. The market doesn't care if you invest $10 or $10,000. The math works the same. Compounding doesn't need your permission or your confidence. It just needs time and consistency. Every month you wait is a month of growth you'll never get back. Think about this. If you invest just $50 a month starting in January 2026 at an average 8% return, by December you'll have around $630. Not life-changing, but it's $630 you wouldn't have if you kept waiting. Do that for 5 years and you're sitting on nearly $3,700. Do it for 10 and you've got over $9,000, all from money you barely noticed leaving your account. But here's the real power. Once you start, the barrier is broken. You're no longer someone who talks about investing. You're someone who invests. That identity shift changes everything. You start learning faster because you have skin in the game. You start contributing more because the system is already running. You stop fearing the market because you're watching it work for you in real time. The biggest mistake people make is thinking they need to understand everything before they begin. You don't. Open a brokerage account. Pick one broad index fund. Set up a $20 automatic transfer. Done. You're now an investor. Learn as you go. Increase contributions as you earn more. But stop waiting for perfect. Perfect never comes. The wealthy know this. That's why they started early with small amounts while everyone else was still researching, planning, and waiting for conditions that never arrive. Number 8. Kill one expensive habit and redirect it before this month ends. Every person has one spending habit that quietly drains thousands every year. It might be daily takeout, impulsive online shopping, premium subscriptions they barely use, or weekend spending that feels harmless but compounds into financial quicksand. Here's the challenge. Identify your most expensive habit and kill it completely for 60 days. Not reduce it, not moderate it. Kill it. Then take every dollar you would have spent and move it somewhere that pays you back. If you spend $15 a day on lunch, that's $450 a month. Cut it for 2 months and you free up $900. Drop that into an investment account or use it to attack high-interest debt. The habit cost you money. Now make it earn money. You might think this sounds extreme. Good. Extreme gets results. Moderation is what keeps people stuck making tiny improvements that feel like progress but change nothing. The wealthy understand that breaking one major habit creates momentum that spills into other areas. When you prove to yourself that you can live without something you thought was essential, you start questioning every other expense. Suddenly, cutting subscriptions feels easy. Cooking at home becomes automatic. Saying no to impulse buys doesn't even require willpower anymore. Pick your most expensive habit this week. Commit to 60 days without it. Track every dollar you save and invest it immediately. By March, you'll have hundreds of dollars working for you and a new identity as someone who controls money instead of letting money control them. Number 9. Learn one skill now that raises your income in the upcoming months. Most people focus only on cutting expenses, and while that's important, there's a ceiling to how much you can save. You can't cut your rent below zero. But there's no ceiling on how much you can earn, and the fastest way to accelerate wealth building is to increase the dollars coming in. Here's what wealthy people know: skills compound faster than stocks. One new ability, whether it's persuasive writing, basic coding, video editing, sales techniques, or freelance consulting, can double your income in 12 months. That larger paycheck becomes seed capital, opportunity, and safety net all at once. Think about it. If you spend the time now learning a marketable skill, you could be earning an extra $500 to $1,000 a month by summer. That's $6,000 to $12,000 a year in additional income, all from skills you can keep using and improving for the rest of your life. A $200 online course teaching advanced client communication and pricing strategies can raise your rates by 40% within 4 months. That single skill pays for itself 50 times over in the first year alone. The return on investment is staggering compared to any stock or fund. Identify one skill that could raise your earning ceiling. Maybe it's learning to negotiate raises. Maybe it's offering a service on weekends. Maybe it's mastering a tool your industry values. Invest time and, if necessary, a small amount of money to learn it properly in Q1. By June, that skill should be generating extra income. By December, it could have added thousands to your net worth. Skills are the ultimate investment. No one can take them away, they don't fluctuate with markets, and they pay dividends for decades. Number 10, protect your attention like it's the most valuable asset you own. Because it is. Here's what 99% of people miss. Wealth isn't just about money, it's about focus. Every hour you spend scrolling, every evening you waste on distractions, every weekend you let slip by without progress. Those are hours you'll never invest in your future. Time and attention are the raw materials of wealth. Spend them poorly, and no amount of strategy will save you. The wealthy guard their attention ruthlessly. They batch emails. They limit social media to scheduled windows. They say no to meetings that waste time. They automate decisions that don't matter and focus deeply on the few things that do. Meanwhile, most people give away their attention for free. They let notifications hijack their focus. They let other people's priorities fill their calendars. They mistake being busy for being productive. Think about this. If you spend just 2 hours a day on purposeful action, learning a skill, building a side income, reviewing finances, planning investments, that's 730 hours a year. That's enough to completely transform your financial life. But if you spend those 2 hours scrolling feeds and watching content that entertains but doesn't educate, you end the year exactly where you started. In 2026, treat your attention like the asset it is. Delete apps that drain focus without adding value. Set boundaries around your time. Build a daily routine that puts growth first and distractions last. When you control your attention, you control your outcomes. And when you control your outcomes, wealth becomes inevitable. So let's bring this together. You've just learned the 10 money moves that 99% of people will miss in 2026. Lock your lifestyle at December levels. Treat tax refunds like strategy, not splurges. Automate your first $10 immediately. Map every dollar from 2025. Join people who are winning. Set 3 deadlines with consequences. Start investing today with whatever you have. Kill one expensive habit by February. Learn one skill by March that earns by June. And protect your attention like your future depends on it. Because it does. Here's what this really means. Breakthrough doesn't come from doing everything perfectly. It comes from making the right handful of moves when everyone else is distracted, waiting, or following advice that keeps them stuck. When you lock your lifestyle while income rises, you create a gap that turns into wealth. When you automate before motivation fades, you remove willpower from the equation. When you surround yourself with people who are already winning, their standards become your baseline. Over time, that approach snowballs. Picture yourself in December 2026. You locked your lifestyle in January, so every raise and bonus flowed straight into investments. You automated contributions early, so by year end, you've built thousands without thinking about it. You joined a community that pushed you to move faster, and their encouragement kept you consistent when doubt crept in. You set 3 hard deadlines, hit 2 of them, and adjusted the third instead of quitting. You started investing in January with $50, and by December you've contributed over $600 that's already growing. You killed your most expensive habit, freeing up nearly $1,000 that went straight into debt payoff. You learned a new skill in Q1 that generated an extra $8,000 by year end, and you protected your attention so fiercely that you accomplished more in 12 months than most people do in 5 years. That version of you has options, momentum, confidence, real progress. Not just wishes written on January 1st and forgotten by February. Now imagine December 2031. You kept these 10 moves running year after year. Your lifestyle stayed controlled while income climbed. Your automated investments compounded quietly into 6 figures. The skill you learned in 2026 opened doors you didn't even know existed. The community you joined became the network that supported your biggest wins. You're not just comfortable, you're free. True wealth means choices. The ability to say no to work that drains you. The ability to help family without stress. The ability to take risks because your foundation is solid. All of that started with 10 moves most people missed because they were too busy following the same tired advice that keeps them stuck. Here's what I want you to do right now. First, lock your lifestyle. Write down your current monthly expenses and commit to keeping them frozen for 2026. Second, automate $10 this week. Prove the system works before you try to scale it. Third, spend 1 hour reviewing 2025. Find the leaks, cut them, and redirect that money. Fourth, set your 3 deadlines with consequences and share them with someone who will hold you accountable. Fifth, start investing today with whatever you have in your pocket. No more waiting for perfect. Don't wait for motivation. Don't wait for more money. Don't wait for permission. The time is now. Your future self is counting on you. These 10 moves separate those who stay stuck from those who break through, and now you know exactly what to do. If you've made it this far, you're already different. You're not like the 99% who set vague goals, forget them by March, and wonder why nothing changes. You're someone who takes action, who builds systems, who understands that wealth comes from boring decisions repeated consistently when no one is watching. Here's the thing, this channel exists because most finance advice out there is garbage. Generic tips that sound good, but change nothing. I'm here to give you the real moves that actually work. The stuff the wealthy do quietly while everyone else follows outdated rules. So if you want more of this, hit subscribe, because every video on this channel is built to give you strategies that actually move the needle. And smash that like button so this video reaches people who are ready to stop being part of the 99%. Now tell me in the comments, which of these 10 moves are you starting with? Are you locking your lifestyle first, automating your savings, or killing that expensive habit? Let me know. I read every comment. Thanks for watching. Make 2026 the year everything changes. I'll see you in the next one.